Oh my goodness.
Rain and Bears tear Chili Foo down off of his self-imposed high horse.
Screw you.
Not to reality.
It's not even a high horse. It's not even a high horse, it's just a horse.
Oh my god. Like, it's just this today. It's just all this. And all I did was like, look, I'm very proud of this thing I did.
We immediately just turned around and
Started destroying it. It's so horrible.
It's just a little constructive criticism.
If you spell constructive like a wood chipper.
Do what?
If you spell constructive like a wood chipper. Anyway. Welcome.
Today.
I don't know anymore. Thank you very much.
that answers that.
Alright, so welcome to Super Retro Bros. I'm with two people I hate right now.
Wow.
Basically, for the last hour, we've been destroying him.
Very justly, like.
Yeah, no, we do not have a justification.
Anyway. E3 happened. And, real quick, can someone tell me how loud the music is? Is it practically unhearable?
Are you talking to us?
Yes. Or anyone in chat, but I feel like there's no one in there just yet, so... Or ever, really.
Let me hop on Twitch.
Why don't people love me? Well, while we're testing that out.
Yeah, the music's kind of fine.
Okay, I turned it up a little bit. Oh, and the music that's playing is just extremely faint, of course. It's just like very dramatic sounding. Okay, well, let's... One second, let me turn it to 10% and then... Alright, well, anyway, okay, so...
This all worked out before we even started the stream.
Well, I tried, and then people just decided to just be mean to me, and then...
Yeah, we just decided we wanted to tear into you.
We were supposed to start, like, 40 minutes ago.
And whose fault is that?
You can go to hell, Zach.
Wait, what I miss?
Anyway...
Somebody had to be like, oh, look at my pictures I did.
It's like when you show me your art, Zach.
Hey, but at least that's good.
Oh, you know, that depends on the person who's viewing it. Anyway, let's get past the petty bullshit right now.
The whole stream.
It's literally just us hurling insults at each other right now.
Snowballs.
So, anyway, E3 happened, and it was a very odd, E3. Like, usually they're, like, very bombastic and, like, interesting. But a lot of the... Yeah, like, a lot of the conferences, though, were just very... Yeah, like, it happened.
Now, I will say the only one that I felt was extremely meh was Bethesda's. All the others at least had things that I was, like, extremely excited about.
Yeah, like Square Enix was kind of lazy too. They're just like, yeah, here's all the stuff we told you already.
Yeah, they just dropped a bunch of game trailers and left.
And Sony's was pretty good. I
Yeah.
didn't mind Square's. I mean, Square's could have been better. They probably could have talked about things actually instead of just showing us trailers. But it was pretty decent. It was better than the Bethesda's because Bethesda's was just basically last year part 2. The only thing different is they added in like a little small trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 and a thing for Starfield. But other than that, it's pretty much the same notes.
Yeah, it really was. Let me see here. I'm trying to find an image. Anyway, I get what you mean though. Like, Bethesda, like when they released Skyrim, they were just like, we're gonna ride this train for a while, and they've just not done much else since then.
They're still riding the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the PS5 comes out, there's gonna be
where they revealed Fallout 4. I think was the last time that they had like a really good one.
Yeah, and like, and it's still gonna be like let me see here. Open a new tab. There we go. So like, when the new PS5 comes out, it's gonna be like Skyrim for the PS5. I guarantee you that is gonna happen. Even
it'll be Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh no! Like, I guarantee you they will have at least Skyrim at least one more time.
Yeah, an HD remaster.
Yeah, and then.
But they did make. Did you see the joke they made about themselves though?
No.
You didn't see that? Skyrim 2.
No. That's funny. But if you take a quick peek over at the stream, this is like my favorite meme about the Square Enix press conference. It's just two images of Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask.
Oh yeah, that one.
Scream's like, my job here is done. But you didn't do anything. But see, we were originally wanting to talk about the Quiet Man, and so I think I'll go ahead and load up the video, and I'm just gonna have I'm not gonna have the audio playing because I mean there's not really much audio anyway. But it's kind of an anomalous video, like. It kind of came from nowhere?
Or not Skyrim 2, hold on. Yeah, okay. This was that they actually did a full production commercial for this, even though it is a joke.
Oh wow. But yeah, the trailer for The Quiet Man kind of threw me off because I was thinking, I was like, these are crazy good graphics at first. Then I realized, like, oh, these are real people. Are they going to actually show what the game is even about? And then they do for like 10 seconds. But it looks crazy good. I just don't know what it's about.
Yeah, it's in the very earliest stages.
Yeah,
what they said.
Yeah, from what you told me, it's just kind of like an alpha, essentially.
Yeah, they're just like, this is a thing that we're working on. I hope you like it.
And I mean, it looks good. Like, it does switch to like game graphics at this point in the video, and it still looks good. But clearly, there's a huge difference between real people and 3D.
Yeah.
But like, is the guy like a kung fu master? Is he?
Well, it is by Platinum Games, so I can only say.
I feel like they missed an opportunity there, though.
Wait, it's by Platinum Games? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a missed opportunity when the combat started. It pops up with silence. The missed opportunity is they should have went with deadly.
Yeah. Let's get out of this and.
Silence is deadly.
Silence is dead.
Silent but deadly.
Goodness. So, like. It's an early alpha. It looks interesting, but maybe it's going to be a game kind of like how Platinum Games makes most of their games, as some kind of beat 'em up. But it looks like it's going to be like a cinematic beat 'em up.
Yeah. My bad. It's by Human Head Studios. I got that mixed up with a different game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was thinking I don't remember.
They worked on the Prey series.
Oh, okay.
That should be interesting.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
They were also
Platinum Games does have a new game coming out though. It's Babylon Falls.
That was the one that I got mixed up with.
Babylon's Fall.
Do you have a trailer for that?
Babylon's Fall?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a trailer for it. That was the one that I got mixed up.
Actually, I might be able to find it. Let's see. So, Babylon's. Babylon's Fall. I still spelled it wrong.
Just sounds like
just put baby lawn. It's just baby lawn. That's literally all it is.
Okay. And let me turn that off. And so feature properties. Babylon
go. I'm sharing it to Discord.
So, oh god damn, friggin' Happy Wheels ad pops up as I'm playing the damn.
There you go. It's in Discord.
Thank you, sir. So, what is this? I'm looking at it and I'm kind of...
It was kind of a vague trailer as well, but it was basically, it's like the humanity in this world, they like transcended. Basically, the trailer is more lore.
Oh, okay.
Like it shows years, like this, you know, as and what happened in that year, like important years, and then it like comes to. I don't know. It's very hard to explain because everything goes by so fast that you don't really have an opportunity to read it.
I can tell. Like, what on earth is going on in this? Jesus.
It looks pretty cool though.
It does. It absolutely does. But man, they know how to. It's not Death Stranding levels of confusing, but it is definitely vague as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, by the Sentinel, have you seen Death Stranding's new trailer? Or any of the Death Stranding trailers?
I haven't seen the new one, but I saw the old one.
Okay, like, you need to see that too.
I'm gonna be equally as confused by that.
Oh, 100%. Like, they actually reveal some gameplay footage and stuff, but I've never seen the game show as much as they've shown and still not explain a damn thing.
It's still not explaining anything about what's going on.
Do you know how they got the Norman Reedus mocap for like the gameplay? Not like the cinematics and like the talking parts, but the gameplay.
One second, I gotta sign into YouTube. Oh crap! I can't do this on here. Never mind. Close this out. No, take that down. Damn it! I can't put my credentials on the online. That would suck really bad. So let's just bring it up on the browser. That's what we'll do.
Anyways, how they got the mocap was Hideo Kojima wore the costume and then wore a Norman Reedus mask.
What? So is Hideo Kojima as the game model essentially?
Hold on, I'm pretty sure. Like it was a thing. It was on Facebook. Like again, you can't trust everything that's on Facebook, but.
God, like I just loaded it up in the stream, and God, it's still just so confusing. Like immediately, the confusion sets in. Let me edit the damn feature real quick. Properties. Death Stranding. And, like,
I think it was just a Facebook thing.
Like, every single thing they do in Death Stranding so far has done nothing but make you question what's going on.
Yeah.
And you have no solid answers as to what any of it means. Which I do plan on doing like a theory video of this. I'm not the game theorist, but I feel like I have a lot to say about it. Like the baby. Is everyone still here?
Yeah.
Let's see, like an honest point about it is that he's like a delivery guy. It seems like he says he delivers things, and they just show footage of him carrying varying different objects on his body, including a body.
Well, I mean, what else would you expect somebody who is a delivery man do?
Well, yeah, but they don't explain what or why, and
I'm just busting your balls.
And why go through such crazy extremes for some of it? Like he's like going across a crevasse, holding a bunch of suitcases and has a bunch of backpacks on him. It looks ridiculous.
I mean, it still got me intrigued. Like,
oh, absolutely! Like
I wish they would reveal something about the storyline, just so that I'm not like,
see,
okay, am I just wasting my time with this game? You know.
And see, like that part of there. Okay, so there's another part where he's like carrying a dead body on his back, or at least I think it's a dead body. What's that?
It's playing now.
What is?
That sequence where he's carrying the body.
Yeah, yeah, and like what is that even? And then like, oh my god, and then at the end he gets like super serious and like he's about to be killed by whatever things are in this world that we can't see, that are unveiled by a machine that's, I guess, powered by a baby, which is a phrase I thought I'd never say in my life. And
yeah, he needs to reveal at least one important piece about the story. Like, just come out and say something. Don't show us a trailer that's vague and confusing and expect us to, like, work through it. Like, tell us something.
And but
so that way we're like, oh, okay, that explains it. Like, if you just explain what the baby was for.
So, yeah, like, that is the strangest thing there, is the baby. It's in, like, a canister. And, like, and in the last trailer, the guy, like... Yeah, oh, yeah, that scene is horrible. But, like, in the last trailer, like, the guy literally tosses him a baby in a capsule. He's like, here, take it!
Well, tossed him the... Yeah, okay.
And it's like, what the... Oh, my goodness.
Well, at least show us gameplay, like, actual gameplay. Like, is it a survival game? Is it a... I mean, don't just show us, like, Norman Reedus walking around for however long this video is. Show us some like, gameplay, like, actual gameplay.
Yeah.
It's going to be, like, a Metal Gear Solid.
It does seem like it's going to have a stealth component.
Shit, what was the newest Metal Gear?
Survive, I think?
No, not that one.
Oh. The not Metal Gear?
Not Ground Zeroes, but the other one.
Phantom Pain?
Yeah. Like, is it going to be like that? Like an open world adventure game with, like, stealth elements? Is it going to be a shooter? You know, are we talking, like... Basically, are we talking, like, Amnesia? Or are we talking... I can't even think of the damn game now. Like, Uncharted.
Yeah, like... God, and then they introduced, like, a female character in this trailer out of nowhere, and she just confused... Yeah, and they both just confuse things even more. Like, they're just saying vague things throughout the whole trailer, and then the vague text pops up, and it's like, yes, okay, we get it. And that is not a functional umbrella. I don't know what she has there.
Maybe to you it's not. Maybe in Future World it is.
In Future World, yeah. It is the top of the line in Future World. It's like, I will say though, like, Norman Reedus looks amazing in the game so far, and all of the character models look amazing. And then, like, there's the thing about, like, there being a crater. Like, the game is influenced by death. When you die in the game, you just respawn, but where you die will always have a crater where you were. And the biggest question is, why? Why does that happen? Why can't he not die, but that happens? There's way too many questions about how the...
Yeah, and I kind of wondered if maybe the baby kind of ties into that as well. Like, is that how they explain away respawns?
It's very possible.
Because he talks about you can die, you know, you'll die and you can come back, but it would create a crater. Like, what's that even mean? Do you explode when you die? Is every death, like, do you go out in a blaze of glory?
Yeah, like... And then, like, the weird little flappy machine thing that reveals the ghost monster things with their own umbilical cords.
Which
God, it's...
looks like Psycho Mantis.
Yeah! Oh, God, you're right. It does look like Psycho Mantis. And it's like... It makes no sense in the slightest. But it looks...
Don't get us wrong here. We still think the game looks good.
Oh, absolutely.
Need explanations.
Yeah, like, there's just so much not being said, and it drives us crazy.
I think there's so much being said and so much not being said that it's just like, say something.
Yeah, and but okay, so one of two things will happen with this game. Like one of two specific things will happen with this game. Either they're not going to explain anything, and we're going to be extremely grateful for it because the game's going to be fucking amazing because of it, or they're not going to say anything, and then we're just confused and nothing makes any sense even when the game comes out.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case. But because it looks like it's going to be fantastic, and oh god, she's eating the thing. That's weird. Ugh.
Yeah,
and,
whatever it was.
Yeah, oh god, and she seems to be enjoying that way too much. Ugh.
Delicioso.
So,
I love shrimp.
Yeah. And
Somebody's having fun.
Yeah, my niece is playing friggin' Fortnite upstairs still, and it's getting on my nerves because she keeps yelling. That aside, I have not. Okay, so let's transition over to Fortnite, I guess, for the Switch, because I have various opinions of this.
Transitioning over to what?
Fortnite for the Switch.
Oh, Fortnite. Okay.
Let's see. Where is the trailer for this? I need the trailer for this. There it is. Okay. And there we go. So, okay, what is everyone's opinion of PUBG and Fortnite?
Meh.
They're alright, but they're not the kind of game I'd play.
Yeah, like, they're time wasters. Yeah, which is fine. Overwatch can be a time waster, too. And it's a free...
Time waster is kind of a vague... Because any game could be a time waster.
Well, let me put it this way. It's like a game you just pick up and just play because you want to play something, but nothing complex. That's my definition of it, anyway.
Yeah.
Something you can just pick up and play for a few minutes and waste some time. Which, I mean, you can do it with many other games, but for this game, it seems like that's all it's meant to be.
Yeah. I agree.
But, I mean, it's a free game, so, I mean, that's not bad for a free game, but again, it's not even the type of game I like to play.
Yeah.
Let's just replay that. And the popularity of these games, which is not a bad thing. Again, because I know people love these games to death.
Battle Royale games.
Yeah, Battle Royale games. You're either in Camp PUBG or Camp Fortnite, or you're in Camp Don't Care, like we are.
Yeah.
And why do you think these games are popular? I don't understand it myself entirely.
Well, I mean, to ask that question is also kind of to ask why are games like Halo and Call of Duty popular?
Yeah, because they're kind of in the same vein nowadays.
Yeah, because everybody plays those games for the multiplayer aspect, and essentially all this is just that part of the game, just in the whole game. That's
so
like all you do.
So what do you think of like games like Battlefield and Call of Duty just doing that now and that's it? Like they're doing their own battle royale.
Well, I think it's simultaneously like good, I guess, because they're trying to at least do what the fans want. But in the same sense, they're also kind of losing fans who have been with this particular genre for a while.
Yeah, like they're just abandoning what they used to do.
When your Call of Duties and your Battlefields and your Halos first started, a lot of these games, they embraced the multiplayer aspect, like with co-op and with, you know, online aspects. But then it just became all about that, and then they lose people who are more into it for, you know, people who either, like myself, don't have access to the internet or prefer a single player experience.
Yeah, and
lose fans like that.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong. If I had internet, I would be, you know, playing in a multiplayer game. But it's just at some point you're not, you know, you're either not going to always find a game, or you're not always going to find people. You're not always going to find, you know, a session, and sometimes you just want to play by yourself.
Yeah.
Because if I come home from work and I'm stressed and I'm on the point of rage, I'm not going to want to jump into a game like PUBG or Fortnite. I'm going to want to first kind of like tone my temper down playing by myself first.
Yeah, and
because people can be like, in games like that, people can be no better than a CPU like companion.
Yeah.
Just do what I want you to do.
Or just complete assholes.
But I agree. Why I get why people like them. And I could see why they would continue to embrace those aspects of those games. I just don't get why you would take something like I liked the Call of Duty Black Ops games.
Yeah.
Because to me they went back to what Call of Duty was about. I mean,
story centric too.
Yeah, because Call of Duty Black Ops 1, I guess we could say, that game had a very decent length campaign.
Yeah.
It took a while to beat it, and the same with the second one. The third one, it wasn't nearly as long as 1 and 2. There was still a story, but from what I'm hearing about 4, it's just like PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah, they've literally gotten rid of the story mode in Black Ops, so why even call it Black Ops if it has nothing to do with Black Ops?
And so, I don't know.
And like, it's kind of a thing where like I've been noticing it lately is like your Call of Duties and I love how we always refer to it as your Call of Duties and Battlefields and Halos.
Makes you sound like old people.
Well, like that's what it is though. It's just this group of games and this group of games and this group of games. And I would not be surprised if Halo 6 has a friggin' Battle Royale mode. I really would not. But
well, I mean, if you remember, Halo 5 had a campaign, I guess you could say, but it was basically online only.
Yeah.
You even needed an internet connection just to play, because it was just it was basically just a 5-player co-op experience for online.
And like
it wouldn't even surprise me if 343 didn't include a battle royale mode with Halo Infinite. It wouldn't surprise me if it didn't take someone like 5 minutes in Forge to make one.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, but that's the user-created content that's inspiring to a degree. They're adding to an experience rather than just imitating an experience. That's why I see it. Because Call of Duty and Battlefield adding a Battle Royale mode to their games, that's fine if you want to do that. Absolutely, whatever. But it literally feels like they're only doing it because they think that's all they can do now to get people to play their game. That's all it feels like. It's a lack of innovation, and so since they lack that innovation, they're just imitating what is working right now.
But then yet that's also just describing the game industry since the dawn of time.
Well, that's true too, but Nintendo's been nothing but innovative, though they've pretty much been there since the dawn of time. Yeah. That's the reason why, even though Nintendo can be considered the safe option, the family friendly, which they're kind of shying away from now. By the way, okay, I found this out recently. I found this out recently. There is an erotic visual novel game on the Switch.
Really?
It's in Japanese only. I can't remember the name of it, but I saw it on the store, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And it's not super graphic. I think I've not looked at it. I don't know what it is entirely, but apparently it's a Japanese erotic visual novel, and it's on the Switch store, but it's not localized at all. It's just in Japanese. And but anyways, Nintendo's getting away from that whole just for kids thing nowadays. And
yeah, which I think is a good thing, as long as they don't take it to an extreme.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, they're if they keep a good balance, I guess is what I'm saying, then they'll continue to, I think, be one of the most popular consoles. Because people buy Nintendos for their kids because of the kid-friendly aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same sense that they prove that you can make a good game and not have to make it violent.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one of my favorite things about them.
I like that they're starting to embrace that there are other ratings, other levels of games. And
yeah.
as long as they keep that balance and they don't take it overboard, like strictly just do all mature games, which I don't see Nintendo doing.
Oh, not at all. Yeah. And like, oh God, what was I gonna say? It was and they're finally starting to embrace the online gameplay market. Though I know for you, you're kind of like you on the other hand are kind of like, please don't just make it all about online, because I know that's hard for you, and I absolutely understand that. That stuff is annoying, because me and you can't even play games together because of it.
Yeah.
And
I like don't get me wrong, I don't hate strictly online games.
Oh yeah.
I'm disappointed because, you know, then that's just one thing that I can't exactly play at this particular point in life. That's not to say I won't eventually play it later on. It's just a little disheartening. Are we gonna go ahead and branch into like another topic?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like this conversation kind of also ties in with the new Bethesda game that was announced.
Oh, Fallout 76?
Fallout 76.
Yeah, fine, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, because I feel that when you hear that they're making a game and it's strictly going to be online, and you hear that it is the next, you know, it is the net, this is for sure the next Fallout title. This isn't Fallout 5 because it, you know, it takes place before all of this, but this is their next mainstream Fallout title. And when you hear all this stuff, on paper the game sounds good, but then when you actually find out a bit more about it, you're just like, really, this is what they're doing?
Yeah.
The game, it's got a map 4 times the size of Fallout 4. It basically it encompasses the entire state of West Virginia, which is really cool. And you know, they're also embracing the local legends of West Virginia, so they're going to include like things like Mothman and things like that, which is really cool. But then when you hear straight from Todd Howard himself that this game absolutely basically has no single player, you can play it single player, you just need an internet connection. But the game doesn't have anything that makes it worth playing single player, because they literally say that. There's like, there's nothing in this game that will basically support a truly single player aspect of the game. There's no missions, there's no true objectives. You do have one objective, which is like the basic objective for the vault, which is to retake the wasteland and to make it habitable again. Because there are no NPCs to give you quests, anybody that you come across in the game is another player. The game is just basically, you know, exploration and combat and interaction with other players.
Mm-hmm. And so if you were to play it by your...
I'm glad that it's strictly online, because I don't think that would be a very good Fallout game. That's just me.
Yeah, because like if you take that and make that a single player experience, it's literally just a game where you walk around in an empty world fighting monsters.
Though on another aspect, to me, they call it the next Fallout title, but it feels more like a Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Where they're not introducing a new game engine. What am I thinking of? The skins are all the same. So like the leather armor is just the Fallout 4 leather armor. The combat armor is just the Fallout 4 combat armor. There's nothing that basically separates the...
There's nothing really new about it.
That's title. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. And even then, a lot of people were describing it as Fallout Destiny, which kind of goes back to the whole lack of innovation, you know, moving to imitation kind of thing. It's really frustrating. Like I liked Fallout 4 a lot. I don't play it very often. I've not gotten through the game, but that's just because there's a lot to do in that game. I got a busy life. You know, that's a game where you need to be like sick in a hospital, dying of something to play it all the way through. And like my boxing coach a long time ago, he played Fallout 3, and he was like, yeah, I'd broken my leg and my arm, and like I just played Fallout 3. And he's like, but that's the kind of game you have to play when you literally can't do anything but play games.
Yeah.
And so like, I was excited for like a Fallout announcement, but when they were like, yeah, it's Fallout, but you know, it's online and that's it, really, and we really can't tell or don't want to tell you much more because we want you to buy it.
Because I mean, like just look at this trailer. There's nothing in here that is different as far as like textures and quality. It's just Fallout 4, just in West Virginia without quest lines.
And slightly newer, storyline wise.
Bethesda does like sticking to their engines.
Yeah, and
Don't
that's...
get me wrong, the Fallout 4 engine was beautiful. It's
beautiful,
just...
and it was a hell of a lot more stable than the one used for Oblivion and New Vegas 3, that's for sure. Oh yeah, I agree with you. It was a phenomenal engine, and it does look more polished. Like the textures are more smoother, less polygonal.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with reusing an engine either, but create something everyone truly wanted. You know, that's the problem here. It's the...
But I guess the upside is that if they feel this doesn't work out, what in the world was that? Anyways, if this doesn't work out, then they, you know, could potentially go back to the Nets, you know, to the original. Excuse me.
Go back to the drawing board, figure out how to make it better, basically.
Yeah, they're just like, this is, they were like, we just wanted to try this out with this one. If it doesn't work out, then, you know, fine, we'll just go back. But I hope that if this does work, this doesn't become
the standard
Fallout formula from now on.
Yeah.
Because it just really shocked me that they decided to do this with a new title in a, you know, one of their biggest franchises, when Bethesda has always been about catering to the single player.
Yeah, and their fans, like, heavily.
Like I was watching this this breakdown of Bethesda's conference, and specifically about Fallout 76, and this guy was talking about that it has only been 6 months since they launched their single player, you know, protect the single player campaign that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole campaign where they're just like, you know, support the single player.
Yeah.
You know, in this day and age of, you know, massive multiplayer games.
Yeah.
They're like, protect the single player, and it's only been 6 months, and then boom, they're like, we're releasing an online-only multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
For our mainstream franchise. There you go.
It's like, yeah, power to the player.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
it,
I mean, yeah, they already did that. They already introduced microtransactions with the creation.
yeah, right.
Next year, it's Bethesda's going to show up at the EA press conference.
I really love when they did like the creators thing, and it was like, yeah, it's more content created by other people, kind of like your mods, but not really. But just give us money. Just give us money. That's what we want. We want money. We want to keep profiting over on a 5-year-old game. Like, it cracks me the hell up. Is this?
I don't know. I mean, the game still looks fun, and if I ever, you know, do get to a point where I have internet to play something like that, I probably would play it. It's just a little disappointing that I guess when you play games like World of Warcraft, even Destiny to an extent, there is a storyline.
Yeah.
That this follows, and while this does have a storyline, it's just basically once you leave the vault, that's it. There's no other storyline. It's just like, all right, now go do things. You can explore and you can fight.
Yeah, and like, and I guess like they're probably like, well, you know, the general you know, the general Fallout storyline, so just go with that kind of thing. But it's like, that's not what we want, though. We want an actual story for this game.
That is really loud. Hold on.
What is?
All right. Each time music switches...
Oh. DJ Professor K just freaked out on you.
Yeah, alright. Anyways, yeah.
And like, okay, so I was harping really big on like innovation and stuff earlier. Bethesda's been really good at that. Like, they really have. Like, sometimes, like Fallout New Vegas wasn't entirely innovative. You know, it was interesting, but innovative not entirely. Fallout 4 though, innovative, different in new ways. And oh shit, what did I do? What did I just do? Oh, there we go, I fixed it.
No, the building aspect of... Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, New Vegas was just kind of like. So we heard you guys like three with a cowboy setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I think the reason why they ended up with the same engine in that one is because they brought ZeniMax in, and ZeniMax is just like, when do you want this game? And they're, they basically gave a general idea, and they're like, okay, well, I guess we build off of this.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I guess. Yeah, but
if I have to be honest, I feel New Vegas was probably a better, stronger game than 3.
Fair enough.
The gunplay was definitely a lot better, even if the insights were perfect.
Yeah, I mean, there were things wrong with Fallout New Vegas. And it was basically the same things that were wrong with Fallout 3, but there was a lot about it that worked.
Yeah. And God, it's so hard to talk about this stuff because like, in some aspects, people are always like, we want innovation, and then developers are also like, then they'll take it. Sometimes they'll take it too far, and then sometimes they don't take it far enough.
Yeah.
And I think with like an example I like to bring up is like Final Fantasy 12. It's a good game, but a lot of the fans were upset because it wasn't like Final Fantasy 10, essentially. But they wanted something different. They wanted something new, so they tried something completely different in 12, and the fans did not like it, even though it's not a bad game. And then you go to 13. They try to use like when you go to 13, you have like similar aspects of old with some slightly newer stuff, but they scaled the story, like how you go about the story way back.
It was very linear.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't do anything. There was literally no exploration.
The internet's favorite explanation of Final Fantasy 13 is Final Hallway 13.
Yeah.
Because it's very much just a straight hallway every level. But let's see. But then you go to Final Fantasy 15. That game breaks from the norm a lot.
Oh yeah, and it works.
And everyone loved it. Now I've only played it a little bit because it's kind of reminded me a little bit of like The Witcher. It's like there's a lot to do here. But I do want to pick it up though eventually because it looks very fun. And the characters interact real nice. Everything's very pretty too.
And there are aspects about Fallout 76 that look really good. Like I like the building aspect. Like you have a camping, you can basically build anywhere off of that. The gameplay looks solid because Fallout's always been known for having generally solid gameplay. Every game has its bugs.
Absolutely.
But it's just, once again, it's just a little disappointing that they did it this way, but they didn't really do anything. That's not to say maybe later on they won't add some sort of expansion or DLC or something that will add in a storyline to give you something to do, because a lot of people that I've watched and a lot of people that I've talked to about this game have said, you can only explore so much before you're just all right, let's do something else.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people save the exploration for after they've beaten the campaign of the game, so that way they have something to do after they've beaten the game. But this is like you've already beaten the game, but there's, you know, not much to do. Like, yeah, you can interact with other people. You can go hunt a monster, I guess.
It's kind of like No Man's Sky, where there was just nothing to do after a certain point. It's just like, well, I did it all already, I guess. Same thing with Destiny 2. Like, well, I mean, Sentinel, you're playing Destiny 2 right now, right? Like, because you're...
not right now.
Well, yeah, like, not like literally this moment, but like... And like, so you're just getting back into it.
Yeah.
But like, for me...
You know, I stopped playing a little bit before the first DLC came out.
Yeah, same here. Like, it was just like, I've done it all, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
mostly because I had done literally everything except for Leviathan, right?
Yeah, that was the only thing I hadn't done was that. And the experience of like being like
Honestly,
team...
the only reason I didn't do that is because I'm not the kind of guy for that.
It's kind of rage-inducing from what I've heard.
Well, I mean, yeah, from what I've heard about the Leviathan raid, you have to know what you're doing with that.
Oh yeah. And like that's definitely not my cup of tea either. So I would just
you've got to know what that specific tile set does, how to go about it.
Goodness. It's like one of my favorite, even though they kind of only announced things we kind of already knew about. My favorite press conference, honestly, was Nintendo, but that's just because I'm a big Nintendo person. I also love the Switch, and I wanted to know what else is coming out for it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just the big thing. It's like, what are they going to do with it now? Like, what are they doing with it now? Like, there's so much they can do with it now. It's so interesting to see Nintendo actually change how they operate and actually work with other developers in a new way. To the point to like Sentinel, you're planning on getting a Switch sometime eventually in your lifetime.
Hopefully sometime next year.
And you're very much like I prefer PC only, but the Switch is different enough to where you're like, maybe.
Well, I mean, I've played console before, back when, you know, PCs were these big bulky things they never really do much with.
Yeah, getting like a good PC was kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course I was there when everything started transitioning to flat screens. And that was just sort of when I started sticking to PC, because that's when everything started getting really good with it.
Yeah, and like the mods and stuff, and releases were becoming more frequent. So like Nintendo is...
And then of course when people started moving to extra paid service for console, I sort of stopped caring about that by as well.
By the way,
this is actually kind of funny.
Not my kind of thing.
Because you're talking about making the transition back to console.
Yeah.
And I'm currently just started making the transition to PC.
Yeah, like
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, because he's never really had a strong computer until recently. And like so let me ask you this. This is what I'm interested in is why do you think the Switch is working so well? Like, it's currently the fastest selling console of all time. Let's see if we can keep that momentum up. But why is it working so well?
I think, honestly, the developers. Not of the Switch, but, like, game developers.
Yeah.
They're really embracing the console. And willingly making games
had a stronger launch as well, which contributes to its success.
Importing games to the console that people like.
Yeah, like
or Nintendo has always been the family console.
Yeah.
I mean, people always go Nintendo before they go anything else, and so I think they've carried over a lot of those fans. And then, like Sentinel said, they had a really strong launch. It released the console.
Wasn't like the Wii and the Wii U, where the launch was sort of meh. And
yeah.
Yeah, like releasing the console with probably, arguably, the best Legend of Zelda game in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I think helped. But I think there's just a lot of strong content coming to the Switch, and it's constantly coming.
Yeah.
Like as far as first years go, Nintendo had a really strong first year as far as like games that were released onto the Switch.
Well, and like here's what's
library is huge now.
Yeah, because like they've embraced indie developers and stuff now, and like it's caused a huge boom.
Only gone for third party as well.
Whereas Nintendo's been very like we have to control it all, like we have to do everything.
Yeah.
But now they're kind of like backing off me, like as long as you do a good job, we'll be proud of you. You know, like that's how they tell them to treat their developers, like just do a good job. You know, and
what helps is having strong exclusives.
Yeah, like Sony and Nintendo are really slamming it with these exclusives because they're just doing it. Whereas like Microsoft they really just don't care. They're just all Halo and Call of Duty and stuff. That's it.
What's funny is I told you this yesterday, but I didn't tell Sentinel. So Microsoft revealed 50 games at their conference that were coming to the Xbox One. Out of those 50 games, only 15 were Xbox exclusives.
And probably none of them are from Japan.
that is actually kind of sad, because when you watch Sony's, they revealed a lot of games, and I would say at least half of those are going to be PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, like the Ghost of Tsushima.
Microsoft also usually doesn't just only have exclusives, because they've had a lot of games in the past where they've had more non-exclusives than exclusives.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, they've only got what 3-4 exclusive series.
Yeah, and they're all either developed by Microsoft or they have an exclusive contract with Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, did I tell you?
Or there's someone that Microsoft shuffled together from their own employees.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were made exclusively from internal Microsoft assets.
Yeah. And like, what is it? It's
Okay, Remedy, the company behind Alan Wake and Quantum Break.
Mm-hmm.
The last several years have been very much a Microsoft exclusive studio with Alan Wake and Quantum Break.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have a game coming to the PlayStation 4.
Oh my god, that's not a good sign.
Yes. It is called Control, and it was revealed at E3 this year too.
Interesting, because they make some really interesting stuff.
Do what?
Of course, it could be as well that their contract with Microsoft is just expired, and now they're starting to branch out.
And Microsoft's probably like, we got this, we can do this. That's probably what they're doing, and then like...
That tends to be Microsoft's attitude towards everything.
And here's what's weird.
It was just like... go ahead.
Like, here's what's weird. The 360 was a very good console, and it had exclusives and Japanese exclusives, like games made from Japan that were exclusive. The Xbox One does not. Like I actually me and Zach meticulously were going through statistics last night. We are the nerdiest of nerds in the world.
Yeah.
And
that's funny, talking about the 360 and the Xbox One. When you look at studios for that 360 had that are basically no longer in operation because of things that Microsoft had inadvertently done, like Lion's Head Studio is no longer part of Microsoft. It's no longer a company, period, because they basically went out of business. And so then they lose the Fable series.
Wow.
Fable is supposedly supposed to be coming back, but it's not being done by Lion's Head because, like I said, it's no longer a company. Bungie is still making games, but they're no longer making the Halo series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, the last strong Halo game that was really good was Reach, and that was Bungie. That was their last hurrah.
It was
and
really good.
I don't think they'll ever make a Halo game that was as good as Bungie. That is like...
And if they do, it might take a while, because when Bungie did that, They took everyone that had worked on that game, and they took that with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's really sad is the fact that at one point, Halo was really known for its strong storyline elements.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, and 3.
It look a bit goofy at times.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, and 3 was very much like
most of
Master
Halo
Chief
2's cutscenes are a good example.
Yeah, like Master Chief was basically just a glorified button pusher. But they proved their game-making chops when they did Reach, which was
that was good.
I never thought that I would ever say this, but probably one of my favorite game storylines is the storyline of Halo Reach.
Yeah, I remember me and you like playing that together, and it was really fun.
And
also,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, mine was just.
No. Go ahead.
I've been talking a lot this. So
I've been mostly silent because I usually don't have much to say through these. And one observation that I've made over the past couple of years is everyone always seems to like the Halo game that was released 2 games ago.
Yeah, true
enough.
enough.
This is sort of an observation that I've made. Everyone sort of, when Halo 3 came out, nobody sort of really wanted it, and they all just praised Halo 1 and 2. Then Reach came out, and they suddenly started praising 3 and ODST. And then 4 came out, and now everybody's praising 3, ODST, and Reach, and now 5's come out, and so on.
I guarantee you no one's gonna praise 4, though, when 6 comes out.
Probably not.
Like 4 wasn't bad, it was just odd. Like, I played it for an hour and never played it again, and it's just because it just didn't appeal to me anymore. It was just the same thing, but not as good.
Speaking of like Nintendo, we were talking about that. Like, I hate to take it back, but the
it's fine.
is still playing the Nintendo.
Yeah, because I feel like Nintendo's actually a big part of Nintendo's a big part of how things are going now.
I really like what they're doing with the new Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
You actually have a character that you can control. I mean, even though they're not exclusively in combat, it still looks pretty cool. I've always been a fan of the Fire Emblem series. But anyways, back to Microsoft. I guess probably their main issue that they're running into as far as like not having sales. I mean, at this point, they've probably released a console that is actually pretty decent. Now, my Xbox One S that I had, I didn't mind it. I liked what it could do. My only issue is that there weren't enough games that were made specifically for the Xbox that showed its power that wasn't already on another console. You see what I mean? Like, I had a PlayStation first, and so a lot of the games that were on Xbox, I had already basically played on the PlayStation. So I was like, well, there's no point in having this game. I've already played it and beat it.
And it's like,
I feel like they're probably the main issue they're running into where they're not getting enough sales is because there's not a lot of content specifically made and geared and designed towards the Xbox that people are like, I really want to get an Xbox because of this game.
And like on top of that, they're not even marketing to. They're only marketing to one big game market, not all of them. They're only marketing towards the U.S. Where so like going back to like the us being nerds and looking up statistics.
Yeah.
The Xbox One has sold 1/10,000,000 Xboxes in Japan. So wait,
that's very little.
Yeah, let me. How much is 1/10,000,000?
100. It'll be at like 100,000.
That's 100,000.
That is minuscule. But if you look at Sony, they've sold almost an equal amount in Japan and in the US. Hence why they're dominating. And then Nintendo's probably going to go along the same routes of Sony because they understand the market better. Like Microsoft, they did a good job with the 360. It was great. They actually had good exclusives and good, even Japanese developers in it and stuff. But like the Xbox One is just straight up ignoring it all. Like any games that come from Japan that are on the Xbox One are always on the PlayStation 4 also. Like you said.
Switch now, or PC.
Yeah, on the Switch or PC. And like
I mean, let's be honest here, Sentinel. If you had an Xbox and you had a PC and a game came out on both, which one would you get it for? Probably PC, right?
PC,
yeah. And that makes perfect sense. And like,
And
are we gonna do the go ahead thing, or are we gonna?
well, you started first, so I was just waiting.
Okay.
For you to...
All right. Well, like last night, like I was curious as to what exclusive JRPGs are on the Xbox One, because JRPGs are one of my favorite genres. I have a million of them for the PlayStation 4, and I have a few on the Switch. I have a million of them on the PC. And on the 3DS. Every console I have like a bunch of JRPGs I love. The Xbox One has... Okay. Out of 10, like the top 10 exclusive... The top 10 JRPGs for the Xbox One, the first 9 are all also on the PlayStation 4 or PC. One of them's even on the Sega Genesis because it's a re-release. And then the one that is an exclusive for the Xbox One isn't even an Xbox One game. It's a 360 game. Which is one of my favorite JRPGs, but it's not an Xbox One exclusive.
And you were talking about JRPGs on the Xbox. There's currently a game for the PlayStation 2 that is probably considered one of the best JRPGs on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 4. It is probably considered one of the best JRPGs within the last year, in Nier.
Yeah. Yeah, and Persona.
When the first Nier game was revealed, it was actually revealed at Microsoft's press conference way back in like E3 2008 or whatever. This is back when G4 was still a thing. But it was revealed way back then at Microsoft's press conference for the Xbox, even though it was coming out on the PlayStation 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Nier Automata, which is the somewhere along the line sequel to Nier,
yeah,
released exclusively on the PlayStation 4, and it's just this year getting a Xbox One launch.
Yeah, and that's a Platinum Games release.
And it's funny because games that were, you know, not necessarily a full exclusive, but were geared specifically for a system, are now releasing on the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the second Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, released exclusively onto that. Was it Xbox One or? It was Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Xbox One for a year, I think. Year exclusivity.
I was just making sure because I know that the first Tomb Raider was on 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure I had my timeline right. So it released exclusively for a year on the Xbox One before it ever came to the PlayStation. And now with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, they're releasing simultaneously.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
And my guess is
same year.
Like my guess is assuming that Microsoft isn't willing to pay the fee essentially for the exclusivity, so they're like, screw it, whatever. That's gonna hurt them in the long run because that was like one of their only few exclusives that they had.
Yeah, because I remember when they released when they revealed that there was going to be a sequel to that Tomb Raider game, and that it was coming out exclusively on the Xbox One and then somewhere down the line on the PlayStation 4. I was actually kind of regretting the fact that I got a PlayStation 4 at one point.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to play that game because the first one was really good. And so I think if they don't necessarily have a truly exclusive game, if they would just be willing to pay to have an exclusivity for like a year or a couple months, it could possibly help them, because then people would want to buy their console because of the fact that that game is coming to that console.
Now, I will say I was surprised that Kingdom Hearts 3 is also releasing on the Xbox One, because Kingdom Hearts has always been a PlayStation exclusive, but maybe Sony wasn't willing to pay the fee for that. Or maybe Square didn't want to do it just for Sony.
Alright, so enough about consoles, let's get back to games.
Well, we have serious, very serious opinions about this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so what should we talk about next?
Well, I mean, since it's up there, Smash Brothers?
Yeah, there we go. I'm actually surprised that
Smash Brothers and the Waluigi Civil War.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that they decided to. From what I'm seeing, this is basically it's a rehash of like Super Smash Bros. 4, but I don't think Smash Bros. 4 had like every single character in it.
Oh no, like this one is like Ultimate Edition.
A lot of people.
And so I was actually kind of surprised that Masahiro Sakurai decided to do another one, considering how much he hates sequels.
Yeah, and like basically, so like Smash 4 didn't have like Snake and stuff. And so, like, this one has Snake. When that was the big reveal. Like, when they showed Snake again in the trailer, that's when it popped up with "Everyone is here."
And I feel like there was a missed opportunity with Zelda. They made Link designed after the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but they
went with like the N64 Twilight Princess combination Zelda.
Well, what she looks like to me, she looks like the Breath of the Wild princess, but in the Ocarina of Time dress.
Yeah, but her hair is different too. Her
Yeah,
more like the N64
that too. Yeah, like the character's like general body model kind of looks like that one from Breath of the Wild, but everything else screams old Zelda.
And so are like Zero Suit Samus and Samus two separate characters now?
Yes, ever since Smash 4, and so is
Zelda, right?
Yeah, Sheik and Zelda are two different characters as well. Which, I mean, I'm fine with that, but that's kind of weird for me because I was a big Sheik fan. But in Brawl, they nerfed Sheik so much that it really drove me crazy. So in Smash 4, they kind of increased Sheik's strength.
I'm like you, though. I do hope that they bring in like a couple more characters from other genres.
Yeah, because that would be a missed opportunity, in my opinion, if they don't add more characters after the fact.
I'd like to see a Tails character.
Well, I mean, they might do something like Smash 4, where they have little boats for
Yeah.
added as DLC. Which, of
I would
course,
like to
might
see
mean
it.
we end up with a couple of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 characters.
I think there's one in there, I believe. Or no, it's Xenoblade Chronicles, not Chronicles 2. X, yeah.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X, the main characters in there. I'd like to see a Tails character. That would be cool.
Yeah. One thing I was happy about was Little Max still in the game, because like I played the 3DS version of Smash, and it is very stripped down compared to the Wii U version, and it just wasn't nowhere near as fun for me. But I was always super excited because like, oh yeah, Little Mac's in it, and Little Mac is not the greatest character in the game, but Punch-Out's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
And Little Mac's one of my favorite characters, so I'm glad that he's still in it, because I was like, I get to play as him in the better version of the game I already have.
I'm sorry. I'm still like shocked that they did that.
Did what?
Well, I mean, I figured at one point, I kind of figured that the Super Smash Bros. That would be coming would be 4. I'm still shocked
I
that
think everyone was expecting 4 for the Switch.
I'm still shocked that they went with like like I guess this would be like 4.5, which I guess would technically be a sequel. Because once again, like Masahiro Sakurai, like the whole reason why he left one of the companies was because he got tired of making sequels to games, and now here he is like on his 5th rendition of Smash Bros.
Oh, and there was one more character that was not in Smash 4 that's in this one. This character was actually a staple in Brawl and Melee, was the Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
They were taken out of 4 because Masahiro Sakurai could not get them to work properly. So he was like, just screw it, just take them out.
Well, I mean, even in Brawl, I'm not really sure much people pay attention to them.
I love the Ice Climbers. I mean, I do understand what you mean. They're kind of strange to have, but I always liked playing as them every now and then. And
8-player battles are returning as well.
That's something I missed out on. I really want that.
You know what we just need now? For Sakurai to decide that, hey, maybe I should put a storyline in this one.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, they better have a subspace emissary in this one.
Something like Melee's Adventure.
Because, like, this one's being called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And if you're going to call it an Ultimate Edition, it better have every friggin' play mode that you've ever had.
Better have one of everyone's favorite things. You decided not to add in Smash 4 because, videos.
Yeah,
Which
like...
I still consider one of the stupidest reasons not to.
Yeah, because Subspace Emissary was great.
Sakura is great, no. That is such an absurd reason.
And Link has his remote bombs. That's cool.
Yeah, so and then
from Breath of the Wild.
And Mario has his Cappy. And then of course there's Ike, he fights for his friends. And then you know who I'm surprised they didn't put in the game though, Pokemon wise? Is possibly like Eevee. I mean, I understand why they wouldn't, but since Eevee's kind of like the title character of one of the new Pokemon games.
Sort of become the stable
so is Ike two separate characters now?
Yeah, the models look different, didn't they?
Well, they had both models on the stage at the same time, and they had different voices.
So maybe one's older?
One is Path of Radiance and one is Radiant Dawn, which is the two separate games that he was in.
Huh. Maybe it's just another skin.
They may do something like Robin and Corrin's alternate outfits, where they like have throwback one. Because if I remember correctly, Breath of the Wild game also has a throwback outfit.
Yeah, that's true.
Outfit, but he still has like his hairstyle.
1 second.
But so they may do something like that, which would make it easier to understand, really.
I feel like there's also a missed opportunity with Ryu to have like an alternate costume for him be Akuma. Like the possessed form of Ryu, not Akuma, but like Akuma as in like his devil possessed form.
I'm just used to him being called Dark Ryu by like every Street Fighter.
What you talking what, like Akuma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
his Akuma form that he takes, like his evil form, not Akuma, the separate character, but.
Oh, Evil Ryu. Okay.
Street Fighter 4.
It's like that form's called Dark Hado, I believe.
Yeah. I feel like there was a missed opportunity to make that like his second playable like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really seems like a kind of missed opportunity.
And also like all of the varying Pokemon the Pokemon trainer used to use are all separate characters now. Not just Charizard. Squirtle and Ivysaur are separate characters.
No, it's the Link Between Worlds Zelda. Which is the sequel to A Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm. And like, oh goodness, like I'm really excited for this game. Though it makes you wonder, did they tweak the combat any, or is it just literally the same? Yeah, but you know, whatever.
Who cares about the Supersonic?
Oh, here's what's weird. Pokemon Trainer is also his own character, but he still controls the varying Pokemon. But then the varying Pokemon are also their own characters, I think?
Pokemon Trainer 33, 34, and 35.
But, oh goodness. So, like, it's like the Switch is so amazing. I hate to keep gushing about it, but it's just... what makes you so happy about it is,
Oh, you can play as the female Pokemon trainer.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
And, like Nintendo's doing what they do best, and that's, like, taking control of the game market and innovating to the point where people can't even begin to understand how they do it. And that's truly what made them great to begin with, which is why they failed at the Wii U, because they literally just did the same thing as the Wii, but more. And they just made it more difficult to program for. Yeah, and on top of that, like, they also made it harder to program for because of the extra screen on the controller and the programming language used to make games for it. Whereas the Switch uses a very open resource system.
But I mean, to be fair, that's sort of what Nintendo does. They experiment.
Yeah, that's true too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they realized their mistake.
They learned a lot from the Wii U when they were making the Switch.
Yeah, like, what was it, Game Grumps? Aaron said he felt like the... I don't know if it was Aaron, I don't know if it was Game Grumps who said it, but they said like he felt like the Wii U was necessary for the Switch to happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like if they didn't do what they did with the Wii U, then we probably wouldn't have the Switch.
Yeah, so it's like Nintendo had to get their butts kicked. It might have
actually been Reggie that said that.
You might be right. Or actually, it might have also been Matt Pat.
I know it wasn't Matt Pat because I don't watch his videos, but I think it was Reggie though. I know I heard it from somewhere, and I know it wasn't Matt Pat. I think it was either Game Grumps or Reggie. I think it might have been Reggie. But yeah, the Wii U definitely seemed like it was a very unnecessary step.
Alright, sorry about that. People talk in the middle of the podcast, sorry. Whoa, Ganondorf looks crazy in the new one. Oh, wow. I love his Demon King form in this one. Like, it's actually like it's like his Ocarina of Time form, not like the giant pig form. Oh, man. Well,
let's see, moving on.
Yeah, here's a question. Do we have anything else we really want to talk about, or do you guys want to kind of end it here?
Do you want to talk about RE2?
Oh, you're right! Resident Evil 2. Yeah, let me pull up that footage. What do you mean? It's in the thumbnail, so yes, we have to talk about this. It looks freaking amazing.
We're saving the best for last when we finally run out of wind.
Yeah, like, okay, because I gotta go to work early in the morning.
I'm starting to get tired, to be honest.
Let's see, Resi Evil
The question is, why did
2.
we go into the Super Retro Bros channel for this?
What do you mean?
We're in the Chill Music Time channel and not the dedicated channel specifically for this.
Oh, because
That's true.
Because DJ Professor K doesn't play music in any other thing but Chill Music Time. That's the main reason. That way I can have music playing for us while we do this. But okay, so Sentinel. I don't know if you've seen any of the gameplay footage for the remake.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, take anything you've.
There's a comparison video.
Yeah, like take any of the new games, and this game's gore is 1,000 times more impressive. Like when Leon uses a pistol to shoot a zombie in the face, it doesn't blow its head off right away in any capacity. It blows chunks of its head away. You use a shotgun, it blows like the front of its face off and stuff. It looks like, okay, so I don't know if you knew this. There was a oh, here's a fun little fact for you.
It makes me wonder if they're gonna try and do like a Left 4 Dead system for it as well to decrease stress on the system. Because the way Left 4 Dead did it was they had a separate mesh that popped in when that happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that reduced a lot of stress on the whole system and everything.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Something that I only learned very recently.
But here's like a little fun fact. About 3 years ago, yeah, 3 years ago, there was a fan project that got shut down by Capcom to basically make Resident Evil 2 in RE4 style. And it looked pretty much as good as this does.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Capcom's usually hard on that kind of stuff anyway.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, the fans have been wanting it for ever since Resident Evil.
I think most Japanese countries in general are kind of like that.
Well, like
most Japanese game devs.
Mm-hmm. But like, ever since Resident Evil 4, everyone's wanted a Resident Evil 2 remake. Like, the fans have been dying for it for forever. So when they announced this, I couldn't believe it. I thought okay, I have issues with Capcom.
Yeah.
The very first episode of Nerd World Problems is me crying about Mega Man Legends being canceled, essentially. Basically, I don't forgive them yet. They still have to make a Mega Man Legends 3 for me to forgive them for that. Yeah. But them doing this really makes me happy, and it's something I've wanted for, what, almost 10 years? Yeah, about almost 10 years. and it looks like it's going to be one of the best things they've done in recent memory.
I really like that they're embracing the new gameplay mechanics from Resident Evil 7, which were really good.
Yeah.
And bringing it over into one of their flagship titles.
And it seems odd. Like people were kind of like, why go back and redo this game? You don't seem to understand how good these games were back then, and they're just going to make it even better now. Like, that's amazing. Like, fans love that.
Yeah.
And Capcom's finally starting to listen to their fan base a little more, though I still want Mega Man Legends 3. I'm never letting that go. And so, like, didn't Capcom have a few other things that were revealed for E3?
What? You broke up.
Did Capcom have anything else revealed for E3?
For E3?
Yeah.
You know what? I am unsure.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna look that up right now. Yeah, Capcom E3 2018. Sadly, all I'm seeing is Mega Man 11. That's another one.
Yeah.
That actually looks really good. I'm actually really happy because I mean they really did a lot of work on it, and it's about time they did something.
And Devil May Cry.
Yeah, Devil May Cry. Now, something that I saw recently, a lot of people believe the Devil May Cry reveal was probably one of the best reveals out of all of E3. I personally haven't seen it. I've seen the screenshots of a lot of stuff going on, and it looks freaking crazy. The graphics look insane for Devil May Cry 5. Oh my god, the irony! I just realized something. They're redoing Resident Evil 2, and they're making another Devil May Cry. The original model for Dante in Devil May Cry was Leon from Resident Evil.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why
the original model for Leon was Dante,
and that's why they look so similar in both their games.
Yeah.
Like they literally look just like each other. It's just that one has white hair. Which is slightly lazy, but also amazing and ridiculous all at the same time.
Yeah.
And so they're redoing one of the games, and they're making a new game for the other one. That's very funny to me. Sorry. But oh my god, I'm looking at the trailer right now, and like this looks horrifying. Like they're making zombies scary again in Resident Evil. Cause once you got to Resident Evil 5, zombies were nothing. Zombies are slow. Ganados are fast. You know, but the zombies in this look utterly terrifying.
Yeah, like for me, as far as like scary in Resident Evil, the last time was probably after 4. Next scary Resident Evil was probably the Revelations series.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, you know that scared me.
I so wish that we could have recorded that just specifically for your reaction.
Me screaming for my life at a door opening.
Because your reactions triggered my reactions. My favorite memory of playing that game is the part where you have to go back upstairs when the dad is still alive. And I was going up the stairs, and I was in stealth mode, and I opened the door, and he's right there at the door, and you screamed so loud.
Oh yeah, it was...
And it startled me, and then he killed me.
It was the most... And it was a very high-pitched scream, too. It was not a very masculine scream in the least. I will admit that I was scared.
It was true terror, because I just opened the door, and when you go into stealth mode in Resident Evil 7, you crouch down. And so when I opened the door, the only thing I saw was like him from his knees down. And he just lets out the most ear-piercing, girly, unnecessary scream. And then that startled me, and I look over at him, and then I look back at the screen in time to see a shovel disappear into my head.
Well, and your sister was there with us, and like you both look at me like, what was that just now? And I was like, I got scared, okay? I will never forget that.
But I was in so much shock. That was just like, okay.
That's a hell of a memory to have for the rest of my life. The moment I was scared out of my mind when you played a game. Oh my goodness. Well,
The game was fun, though.
I think we've pretty much covered what we're really willing to cover today. Maybe another time we can talk about more stuff.
Yeah, there were still a couple things that we didn't talk about, but I mean, we can always save those for another episode.
Yeah. And I'm super. Basically, my favorite reveal probably is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Because I was 100% never expecting that to happen, and that's a good surprise.
Yeah, me neither. When I first saw, like, not the footage, but like the poster for it on Facebook, like, after they revealed it, and it was on Sony's and Resident Evil's pages, I was thinking, like, the remake of Resident Evil 1.
Yeah, same.
Where it kept the original gameplay, which is updated graphics.
Yeah, and it still even used a pre-rendered style.
And then I watched some of the gameplay for it, and I was like, wow, they completely remade this from the ground up.
Yeah. Like
I said, there is a comparison video that you should check out. That is comparing Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation 1 and this one.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
God, it looks so good. Like, it looks like if you took Resident Evil 4 or even 6 and just retooled everything even more. So, because it looks fantastic. Like it looks like it moves extremely smoothly. I mean, it could not turn out this way completely, as far as we know.
Yeah, it's using the RE7 engine as well.
Yeah, because that itself still makes it look even more beautiful. Because that game had some great graphics. Though I always thought their teeth look weird in that game.
I kind of wondered if they were going to consider doing a remake of another one. Because when you play RE7, there are a lot of mechanics that they brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole trunk.
Yeah.
To store your weapons and items in. A lot of the mechanics that were used in different parts of Resident Evil 7 were throwbacks in and of itself to the other games.
Mm-hmm.
The whole having to find the broken shotgun to get the double barrel shotgun. Which, by the way, I don't know if I ever told you this, you can get that broken shotgun back.
Oh, really?
And use it, and it's the most powerful shotgun in the game.
Huh.
Do you remember the sequence where you get like the toy axe and the toy shotgun?
Oh, okay.
You take the wooden toy shotgun down, you replace it with the broken shotgun, and then you use a weapon repair kit, and you get the double barrel shotgun.
Nice, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's the most powerful shotgun in the game.
Now, I will say this, if they could just redo Resident Evil 3 and Code Veronica, then we'd have well, I'm not gonna like that kind of like, I'm talking about like things that don't have a remaster or a remake,
right?
And like that we'd have the full HD Trinity finally. Well, not Trinity, but like the whole entire series just finally decked out in like gorgeous graphics for these new systems. Though I don't expect them to do it. Though it'd be interesting to see what they could do with Resident Evil 3. That's one I wouldn't mind having now. Yeah, but I think with all this, I think we will call it a night.
Alright.
But I enjoyed it.
Fun.
Oh, absolutely. God, like so much happened. It's hard to even process everything that happened at E3 in this one video because of all the stuff they revealed. But at the same time, they didn't reveal much in the conferences more than after the fact.
Yeah.
Which is why everyone was kind of disappointed with how E3 went, but honestly, it actually turned out to be way more than what we thought.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, so I'm... pretty exciting.
And I think what it was is that a lot of people's first reactions for E3 were the conferences, which were very disappointing. And so I think after that, a lot of people were just like, well, there's nothing good coming out of E3 this year. But they didn't really stick around or pay any attention to like the third-party games.
Yeah, because like I was explaining to a friend of mine, like it's like I was like, these conferences are only like a small bit of it. Like I was like, these showings they have isn't the whole event. The whole event is also out all over the floor with people being like, hey, come try our games that we have, that aren't on the big screens by the huge developers.
Before we go, did you want to talk about Just Cause? Not the game, but what you were talking about yesterday?
Sure. We can do that. So, Sentinel.
This will only take like 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah, it might take a little more just because I might ramble a little more about it, but let me bring up Just Cause real quick in a trailer format and just... Okay. So people are probably wondering, like, why are they going on about this now for no reason? Give me 1 second. So, let me ask you a question.
I'm not entirely sure what you're going to go on about.
Let me ask you this, Sentinel. Alright, so have you heard of the Just Cause games?
Yeah, I played 2 a bunch. I think I've got like 400 hours on it.
Okay, let me ask you this then. How do you pronounce the game's name?
Just Cause.
Oh, so not Just Cause.
Or at least that's a... Well, yeah, because it's just easier for me to say it that way.
Well, no, like...
Well, I mean, the game is called Just Cause.
Yeah, I know.
But, like...
It's just easier for me to say it that way.
Well, like, here's the thing.
That's just how I say it.
Like, so when you look at the 2 words of the game, Just Cause, you're probably getting an idea of what the game is about. Like, oh, it's about a just cause. It's not a game just cause.
No, it's literally just because.
Wait.
But yeah, that's just how I think it is when I see the word cause without a B before it. That's just how I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so a lot... I found out that there's... There are some people I've come to find that pronounce the game's name as just cuz. Like you're just cuz we're doing this.
Well, I mean, that is basically the games in a nutshell.
Well, like the first one clearly has a revolutionary... What's that?
Although at least in 2, there is also a just cause.
Well, like, even...
You also just do things in that just cause.
Well, yeah, true enough, but clearly the game is meant to be, like the play on words is there for just cuz and just cause, but very clearly, though, like, the developers meant it to be like, oh, they have a just cause. It's like, oh, okay. Like, when I heard that, and I was like they were like, a friend of mine was like, have you played the Just Cuz games? And I was like, what game? Just Cuz. I've never heard of this game. Oh, you've never heard of it? And I'm like, do you mean Just Cause? And, like, it may not seem like a big deal to you, but it freaking... I could not comprehend that he read it that way. And maybe that's just...
I can definitely get it, but...
Yeah, like, absolutely.
I also feel like that's sort of the reason why they chose those 2 specific words.
Oh, absolutely. But it seems so strange because it's... Oh, God. It's so weird. Like, but again, I guess it shows how 2 different people perceive the same thing differently. You know, but that's neither here nor there. That's basically what that story was, though. It was just like, I ran into that, and I couldn't understand why.
The game looks good, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the fourth one looks pretty nice.
Going through the games, you can definitely understand why someone would do it the other way instead of one specific way.
Mm.
Well, see,
oh, you have a parachute
game,
with a jetpack attached to it? Just cause.
This game has a an active extreme weathers like enabled.
I've seen that.
Is that what the big tornado was?
As to how they're gonna handle it.
And they
that's
said
what the whole tornado thing was. That was them showcasing that.
Tornadoes, forking lightning, random sandstorms that come out of nowhere.
Sandstorms as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and they said that you can they'll hinder gameplay, like they obviously would, but you can also use them to your advantage, in that you can pull out your wingsuit and then use the tornado to propel you to a specific area.
Okay. Because when you say it may impede gameplay,
I'm curious about.
Go ahead.
And I'm really curious about how they're going to handle that, because one thing I noticed in Just Cause 2 is with random stuff happening, like NPCs flying planes, every once in a while you just out of nowhere get chaos plus 2,000 tank destroyed. Because just like the AI just has a fart and crashes into something in a military outpost.
Oh my goodness!
Well, they said that they've updated the AI.
How they're gonna handle that?
That they've updated the AI in the game to where, like, depending on what the AI is, like what the NPC is, it has its own like evolving set of actions.
Huh.
So like each of the enemies now have a specific class, and they'll alter their combat based on situations.
Interesting.
And the show guys definitely seem like they try to set it up in front of other NPCs.
Now, when you said whether it may impede gameplay, the first thing I thought of, though, which I mean, it sounds like they're not focusing on it impeding the gameplay this way, is like Rain in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Whereas Rain is your greatest enemy in that game. Like it's like, oh, I need to climb this mountain. Looks like I have to wait 20 minutes. You know, it's like, or you're like in the middle of climbing something and it starts raining and you fall to your death. That is very fun. But you get used to that stuff in games like that. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that big deal. But I just thought that'd be a funny comparison.
But this game looks really fun. They said that literally
I'm just curious how they'll handle But anyways, I'm just curious how they handle stuff like the tornado coming through and breaking stuff, because admittedly, I haven't really kept up with the series all that well after 3 came out, and I've been meaning to get around and buy it, but I never have. So I don't know if there's still like a chaos mechanic like in 2, and if there is, I'm really curious how they're going to handle that with the whole tornado destroying things. Because
I'm kind of curious about the weather as well, because
stuff, there's just going to be a lot of random pop-ups whenever one goes through town.
Because I was thinking of, they said the tornadoes can destroy buildings and bridges and things like that. I'm just concerned, how is that going to affect, set gameplay events? You know what I mean? Say a random tornado comes up and it destroys a bridge, but later on you have to drive across that bridge to get to the other side, and it's part of the mission that you specifically drive, a car or a motorcycle.
Well, I'm thinking the way they might do that is, in 2, if you, went into a mission or something, everything would reset itself.
Ah, okay.
So they just keep doing that.
That makes sense.
So it's like the world state sort of resets itself to whatever what it should be.
The only thing I don't like about that kind of breaks immersion, but at the same time I understand why they did it, because that'd be a pain in the ass.
Immersion. But when was there ever immersion in this series?
Well, every game has some set level of immersion, but like I said, it's not like a huge deal. I understand why they did it.
I feel like they put, the extreme weathers, but I feel like they might have put a limiter. It doesn't affect anything that would be story, like things that affect the story, until like maybe later on, like either during the story, like if you're attacking the base or something, and then a tornado comes through, or like it's set to like destroy bridges, but like if a bridge is is key to a specific mission, then it probably won't affect that till like after that mission's done, and you don't necessarily have to go to that particular area again. I feel like that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
That's just me.
Yeah, so I mean that's one thing that could happen, and like the same, they could just do the thing where like they just resets things that get destroyed again, which, like I said, like it makes sense that they would do that because from a game programmer's perspective, it'd be like, well, this would be the best way to avoid game breaking glitches.
Yeah, pretty much. And then also it would make sense for the whole world state to reset itself if you like the game back up.
You know, because like when you're like destroying like random parts of the game, like, oh, I hope it doesn't accidentally break this one part and then the game's ruined and stuff like that. So I mean, you have to have some kind of control.
Yeah. Okay.
But in the end, I'm just interested how the tornado is going to interact with the whole clearing things.
Yeah.
Like, because that's just gonna. It's just concerning because I don't know how they're gonna handle that. Cause I
yeah.
don't know how they handled the whole clearing thing in 3 either.
And it does look very pretty. The game does.
It does. Also, is it just me, or do they change the voice actor every game? Or does he
I don't
just
know. I've
forget
never
his
played
voice each time?
I've never actually played any.
Different compared to 2.
Well, I think we are going to end the stream for the 4th time here. Yeah. And
we're still going.
And get us some sleep, I think. But thanks guys for joining.
No, we were still going.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I never.
This was just the after.
I never hit the button. I never. So thanks for joining, guys. I've been Jilly Foo. If you guys want to give yourselves a sign off. Both at the same time.
We did that before too. In the intro.
Alright, you go first.
And I've been Sentinel Richie.
And I've been Varys.
And we will see you guys on the other side. Thank you for joining us. Bye.